live session here for the Basic Playground series, where we're going to be learning and extending upon our basic skill sets to help us to get better as developers and as future computer programmers or whatever. Many of you already know I've already had a YouTube channel here. Oops, I had my video up there and I got a little crazy advertisement. Got to mute that for a little bit there. So I'm keeping an eye on the chat here. So the whole idea here is to basically help people build upon their basic skills. Now, we did miss a few sessions already, so what I'm going to probably try to do is introduce some newer concepts. So it may be a little bit more advanced, but as I mentioned earlier, and I had to repeat this because I realized I wasn't live yet, is we're going to essentially be extending upon this information already, since a lot of you people, I'd say the majority of people watching are pretty skilled already and know what this stuff is about. We're going to be going over ASCII characters and basically displaying them and drawing up like a little chart here, because we're going to be creating an account for our alien. And also I'd like to be able to try to create the screen for the store too. So it kind of looks a little bit more graphical in both aspects. And then we're also going to be doing conditions and if statements and making the computer to make decisions. And we're also going to be using string conventions, which allow us to extract components of a string, which are like the mids, the lefts, the str strings. And then finally, in here, we're also going to be introducing GOSUB. GOSUB is going to allow us to go ahead and jump the subroutines so we can return back to a section of code without having to basically do a lot of repetitive code, which is known as spaghetti code. Okay, so what we'll do is I'm going to go ahead and switch now over to this device screen here. If you haven't already done it, go ahead and make sure you click on the link down there in the video there. I put down the device access so that you guys can go ahead and, get your device up and running and everything. Oh, and if I haven't mentioned, I had to repeat this also. We were having a lot of technical issues tonight. Romelle will not be able to screen share. Unfortunately, she was running on hotspot, and I let her borrow my laptop, but unfortunately, it kind of consumed her hotspot, and I guess she's off right now. I don't even know if she's even currently on, because I'm not hearing anything. Probably know she's currently watching at the moment. So I'm probably going to go solo tonight. What eventually I want to do is encourage more people to join the Google Hangouts, so I can really, my dream again is to have just windows lined up here at the top of the screen here, where essentially I can interact with anybody and click on your screen, as I mentioned before, and try to help people resolve problems faster that way. So let me switch over to the device now, because I already have it currently up here. This is the program we were working on about 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. We were setting up a Mosquitoes R Us store, allowing us to make simple transactions and interacting using what's called an input prompt that kind of responds to whatever we type in there. Okay, she says, I'm sounding great. Okay, that's awesome to know. I'm just going to go ahead and thank her for that. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'll introduce the code here to you kind of subtly on subtle surface, because I don't really want to try to make a video real long by trying to be repetitive. I also realized by rehashing old information makes the video too long, as I've learned from that. So I'm not going to go back and repeat. If you need to, go back and watch the other videos so that you can continue to try to keep up with where we're at right now. Okay, so I'm going to show you the program as I'm interacting with it here, and I also need to get my screen, my device screen interacted. So I'm also interacting with the device screen on the other side here, so I need to keep that active. I'm managing a lot of stuff here. I'm also managing OBS Studio, because this is all being broadcast directly through OBS Studio, which allows me to switch through. So even when I go on Twitch, I'll be able to simply switch through screens very quickly, do what I want to do. Okay, so I got the device screen up here. I'm going to go ahead and interact with it. So if I type in like a 5, for example, it would just tell you this is the money you have remaining. Now, I had a little simple loop in it that kind of shows it, and it's going to kind of, I think it keeps decreasing as I keep typing in it, or this one might be stuck actually. So we might need to fix what's going on with this. Let's see if I'm typing in 5, I don't see anything going on there. Yeah, I think there's an error in there. We could probably look into fixing that. So I've got an idea set up that we'll be working on today. So let's go ahead and just review the code here real briefly, that is. I'm trying to figure out why you guys are still seeing that screen. And you're not seeing, there's something not syncing with my OBS Studio there. I just noticed this. It's not syncing with my live screen anymore. Hold on. I might have the wrong one up too. Yeah, I had the wrong one up. Okay, so I had two of these up. So I'm just going to go ahead and just reset this one so I don't end up in the wrong screen here. Go. Okay, so now I'm in the right one. So if I hit 5 here, you'll see it tells me the money purchase. It'll give a loop and it'll kind of go away. But there's an error in here. As you notice, as I keep hitting 5, it's not deducting from my account. It's always staying at the, was it $9,980,000 there. So we probably would need to fix that because we're going to be doing kind of a checking account simulation kind of thing here tonight. If I have enough time here. And eventually I'm going to have a lot more time tonight because I don't have to interact back and forth so much right now. So basically the program's clearing the loop here. Line 30 clears the loop. It sets up the colors here on line 40. And this dimensions the variables so that we can set up to use these later for our checking account. And I think that was our balance or something there. For TV, I noticed I probably didn't use that one. Okay, and then from here, we're setting up variables. These variables are no longer being used because we later just used them in the arrays, but that was an example to kind of introduce simple concepts. And then we changed the text color here to print our mosquitoes are us. We changed it again to print our little items on the screen, which is our blood, human, and our bugs for our mosquitoes are us store. And this is our input prompt. It's waiting to receive input through a string that's called BU string. And then here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this functionality tonight, or try to, so that we can start making BUs respond to our commands and things we want to do with it. Now, 120 does a carriage return. 130 is setting up our dollar amount for our alien. Kind of the weird scenario here. The alien comes, and he's basically commanding a large fleet of armies, right? He's like a commander of a large army or a large bunch of soldiers. And he's coming into the store because the mosquitoes are attacking him. So they're trying to find ways of hoarding them off with blood, humans, and bugs, right? It's kind of creepy. But that's kind of the weird concept of this weird program I came up with, thanks to bugs biting me. Okay, so now line 130 is setting up, like I said, the dollars for the alien. And then 140 is actually setting up a cash tender to take the dollar, and then it's going to subtract it. Here, all I'm doing is I'm subtracting it from PN, and I might have had a different program. I just now realized. PN is just subtracting it from the blood count right here. That's probably why it's not working. Of course, what it's doing right now, this program I just noticed is only doing one thing. It's only interacting with this line 2000, which is why it's not responding to BUs. I never set up BUs to be a string, but tonight we could set it up to interact, convert our character into a string, or just set it as an integer. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to do some fancy tricks here. We're going to be using strings to receive data to be able to respond to it, but we're also going to be able to take the variable, convert it into a, take the variable, convert it into a number that could be used with line 140. So let's try something like that here already. I'm just going to go ahead and start like 110 in here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start setting up our string command here. So we're just create any variable we want. It doesn't matter. In this case, since we're going to convert, I'm just going to call it CVs for convert. And then we're going to say equals str string. And actually, just now realize this won't work because we already have a string. So we need to do the opposite. Earlier, I was doing it. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a val that we need. So in this case, we're going to val. So CV equals val, which is val line, and this is going to take our string and convert it into a number. That should work right there. Matter of fact, let me test it real here just to make sure I've done this correctly and I'm not looking to be out. I'm just going to set up a simple string here, my name in it. Oh, I just now realized I'm on the old there we go. I'm on the old device here. So anyways, that's fine. I just have to interact with the keyboard a little bit different. And then I'm going to go ahead and set up that conversion for the val line. And we're going to set it up for a BU. So that should be good. There it goes. So converted, it took Steve and converted it into a number. So essentially this would be like a number normally. Like for example, 5,000 would be receiving as an input string. And right there, if I took CV, and now CV is an actual number, and I could do actual real calculations with it now, where versus before, I couldn't do it. So now we're good there. So CV equals val BUs. There we go. just like I got it right there. So it's going to take the conversion. Now it's able to use that as a number. And all we're going to do is we're going to add that to line 140 to keep track of what we're typing in for the number each time. Let's go ahead and just rerun it. So what do you want to buy today? In this case, we're going to say blood for 2,000. Now it should take the 2,000 into a total of accumulated of an account and subtract it from our account. And we should get a lower number if all is well. It may not show up the first time based on where I put it. Or there may be an error here. Let me see here. And I'm just going to stop the line here for a minute so I can print CV. CV is showing 2,000. Let's go down to the next line. Oh, so I may not be printing AC right here. Let me see. AC1 is 99,800. Let's see. Equals the dollar sign. Oh, I know what's going on. This was a dumb mistake. I set the dollar here, so every time it goes to the input statement, it's putting the dollar sign back over and over again here. So we're going to we're going to move line 130 above. You always want to set at the very beginning your variables so that you don't actually reinitialize them and do something, you know, like I just did there. So we're going to go ahead and set this up here for dollars, our simple example, like that. And then 130, just to make sure that that's good. 130, we've taken that out so that now 130 is non-existent. So once we go past the input statement, it converts our string here. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and do the conversion. Now we take the cash tender from the dollar, which does not change here since it was done earlier in the program. And it's going to subtract that from our conversion. So everything should be good now. Okay, I'll just go ahead and do the 2,000 again. Or am I doing something wrong here again? Let's see here. AC1. I think 99,800 is what we started with. And we're subtracting CV from it. TT equals T plus 1. So it's basically today you purchase. It's actually probably accumulating the account and variable, which I probably shouldn't be doing every single time. So I'm doing this in accumulation. So let's see, AC2. Or is it AC0? I'm sorry. AC1 is the same here. Okay, so I got a bug here. I have to kind of work through here for a minute. And let me go back and check the YouTube here also to see if anybody's joined and just welcome everybody here. Okay, everybody's good there. Okay, so anyways, going back to my program here, so I don't get distracted here. So we're taking the cash tender, we're taking the dollar, which we initialized earlier, and we're subtracting it from our CV, which we've done our conversion. We're storing that in our array on line 142 here. And then essentially I was supposed to be accumulating it to keep track of each total because we're going to be setting up a bank account here. So your money left is CT, so this should probably be AC. I don't even think this is probably not making sense here. Today you purchased, and I think that might be what we're looking at here. Let me see here. So if I go back in here, so just to make sure here, it's going to input ACTT, TT equals TT plus 1. So TT should be accumulating through it each time here. And it shows your money is left as CT. So it does the calculation. I probably had to move that first because it's already doing the deduction before it's doing that line. So I could actually move this to 130. I think that would probably work. Let's see here. Now that 130 is getting your money left, and then after that, it's doing the deduction, and then from there, it's going to accumulate. So what I was trying to make it do is say your money left is this. So what have I done wrong here? I'm trying to think here for a second. The CT equals DO, which would be the 1 million minus the CV, and that should be taken off of 2,000 each time I go through the loop. It adds it to the array each time, and then it basically prints out the total of the arrays down here. Did I do that in this one? Let me see. Purchase ACLL. You said check line 163 and 164. Oh, I didn't catch that. So I didn't set up a loop here. I was actually, good job. Yeah, I was actually, I don't know where my LL came from, but okay, good job. That's what it was. So it just wasn't reading the account. And now this is saying 0. Okay, what did I do wrong here? Let's see here. Oh, because I did, yeah, I should have probably looked at it 160 actually. Let's go back and put that back to 160 for now. Because this was already on track to be the way it was. Because earlier it wasn't reading anything until you actually pulled it into the actual array there. So I said 2000. All right. This is getting embarrassing here. Converted the number. I set up the CT. I didn't accumulate this. I put it in the account, but then I accumulated it. Oh, so I accumulated it before I even did it. So I'll probably have to do my TT after I do my purchase. So I think I'll set my TT right after, like maybe 167. Would be a good place for the TT since I'm not going to need to accumulate it until after I displayed it. Oop. My +1 there. And then I'm going to take out 144. So I had to do a little bit of changes here. So just now I'm looking at it. I'm reading it into CT, the cash tendered, and I'm copying it to the variable. I'm going to print out all this information on the screen before I even increment the counter here, because we're going down to the next part. So, and something is still wrong with this one. So let's see, this 0, this should be 0 actually. I should be keeping track of my totals here. Okay, said that one. That one came out right. Okay. It didn't, did it? Yeah, it subtracted it. Yeah, because it was originally at DO was originally that. So it looks like it's working now. Okay. So now to keep track of them in increments here as I go through them each time. I should keep changing them. Should. Or something's getting overwritten here. Let me see here. Let's check to make sure TT hasn't done something strange. TT is now 3. So AC1, or AC0, AC1, AC2. They're all the same. Let's take a look here for a second here. This is programming, right? Programming, and I didn't like plan this out. This is kind of the whole idea behind this is kind of do it on the fly, you know? That's what programming is really all about. So we converted our number. We went through our cash tender. We set our dollar. We subtracted it from our CV. We passed it into our TT is equal to CT, which should show the remaining amount each time. And then we accumulated the next one in line. So it shouldn't be reset in DO because we're not going back to line. Wait, where are we jumping to? Go to 60. Okay, go to 60 goes right back to the beginning. Yeah, so go to 60 is not losing anything that I could see anything repeating itself here. Anyone wants to throw it in the chat, that's fine. I'm trying to think this one through for a second here. Because AC would start out at 0, right? Count would start at 0 right there. And if I take 99,800 minus 2,000, I should get a totally different number here. Okay, I'm just going to minimize my picture there so I can see that chat a little bit better there. So let's just go ahead and also make sure my audio is still working. Just checking some things here, guys. Okay. Like keeping track of so many things at once sometimes is interesting enough. And oh, sorry about that. My Zoom popped up there. Okay, so what I'm trying to see here is what's going on. We have a bug in the program right now. It's been introduced. And this is from last time, of course. So it's taking our value. It's converting our number. We got our number converted. We are setting a cash tender. We are taking the 1 million and subtracting it from 2,000 each time we're typing in 2,000. It's being converted over and over again. I know what it is. Nobody would have caught this, but it's basically overriding TT each time. Actually, let me see, TT equals TT plus 1. No, it's not overriding TT because TT is still incrementing through the loop. But I never, let's see, TT equals TT plus 1. L equals 0 plus 1. So this should go to the next one. I'm going to do some tests here for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and say 145. And this is stuff you can do as a programmer. You can actually, you're going to learn about some debug testing that is pretty common in programming here. So I'm going to print out some values to keep track of what's going on the screen each time here. And this will be like our debug statement. It shows 0 right there the first time. So when I go T2, the first time the loop is going to show 0. And then it's showing that. Okay, that looks good. Let's do it again here. 2,000, 99, 8,000, 2,000. It went to 1, so that increased, but the number went to the next one and it stayed the same. Okay, so we know the problem is happening after it goes to the next number. It still is DO changing. See, DO is not even changing. So it's always taken from the same value every single time. Really, all it's doing is just overriding this over and over again. So the solution is we need to deduct from DO from the CT, because CT is telling us we are subtracting DO, but we're not setting DO equals DO minus CV. We're saying CT equals DO minus CV. So really, all that was doing was this. It was taking the 100,000 minus our 2,000 like that. Like that, it was giving us that result, right? But we went to run the program again. DO, I'll put it right here, was always the same. So every time it went back into the loop, it was just repeating itself over and over again. So the solution is to decrease from our dollar amount. Well, here's how we do it. We go to this line and we say DO equals, and I might need, yeah, this will work. DO equals DO minus our CT, which is our cash tendered. And now we got a decrease in loop. Go ahead and leave any comments if you guys are confused on this. It should be working fine now. It was going to show that one first always. And now I'm not getting anything. But our DO went down and went way down for some reason. D equals DO minus CT. CT, oh, because it should be subtracted from 2,000, not from that. My bad. So it was trying to subtract 1 million minus that number. So it basically went way down really fast. So what we need to do is subtract it from CV, not CT. Like that. So that should be good. There's the first one. There we go. It's working now. So now as I keep going through here, you'll see it. It's keeping track of our totals too. See how they're increasing? They're going down now and they're decreasing as they're going down. So what I wanted to do eventually, now that I got this working here, I'm going to go ahead and save this as our new program here. And you guys can take a moment to save yours too as well. I'm saving mine. I always want to save your work. Now that we got it working, I want to kind of extend this and start building kind of a separate screen here. We're going to be introducing some new commands here so that we can go ahead and start setting up the displays like we were talking about with the ASCII characters and all that. And give me 1 second here while I see how long I've been in the chat here. Okay. I had to keep track of the time here and everything too, because I didn't clock myself here. Yeah, I should have probably recorded the video. If I recorded the video here, I don't know, that might have lagged from it. Then that would help me keep track of when it actually started. The only thing I could do now is probably guesstimate when I actually started. Let me see here a second. So I don't go over too far. I could watch my time too. I think I started about 1 o'clock. I could say probably from 1 and kind of go from there. This might even be a longer session tonight. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and extend this program. And I'm going to teach you guys some new stuff here. We're going to jump over to the next command so we can start setting this environment up for ourselves. And we're going to create what's essentially called a GOSUB, which is going to GOSUB to a subroutine. And I'll kind of explain how this process works here and everything. And just keeping track of what Romelle's doing there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go down here. I'm just going to set my line real far down here into the program here. And we're going to just say this is going to be the alien's bank account. Where's that character at? I don't know on my Commodore. Is it 6 or it's 5 or 7? It's 7. Okay, so 7 is going to be the one I need for aliens bank account. There we go. So now we're going to use this line as a GOSUB to draw a whole new screen for the bank account. And I had some cool ideas. I was going to also make it set up a lottery where the oh, I spelled this wrong. Where what's going on is the army needs more cash reserves. The aliens army needs more cash reserves. So they got to go play the lottery. It's kind of bizarre, right? Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to print this. Now, so far, this error is being unaffected because this GOSUB is not letting us go to this line. It's just going back to 60 before it even gets here. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear the screen here. We could do the 147, or you could always do the, if you remember, you could just do the home key like that, and that's a print also clear for you. I'm just going to do the 147 since I'm pretty old school anyway. And then I think from here, we're going to go ahead and start building this screen out. Want to kind of get an idea of our design aspect of the screen and kind of like how it's going to show up on the screen here. So I'm going to kind of build maybe a little grid around here. I'm not super good with these ASCII characters, but we're going to start playing with our ASCII characters. I could probably look them up. See here, B, C, D, E, F, G. T, U. It's going to be either T or U. Let us see here. T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. There's probably not any of those then. Okay. I'm searching. There it is. So it's actually C. So C is the one I want to use. That's going to allow us to do the design screen there. I don't know how big we're going to need to make it here. And then now I got to look for the other one here. G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. It's S. S right there. So S is what it's basically going to allow us to kind of draw a little line going down the screen there. You see me do this in my other one, the basic marathon game that I was actually working on. It's kind of doing a similar thing here. Now I need to look for this one again. There it is. That was pretty fast. So that was B actually. So B, and then we're going to go ahead and set this up. So checking, and over here we're going to say name. For now, I'm just going to write it in, but later we could make this name change over and over again by putting somebody else's name in place every single time. It's a big bad boss alien. There we go. Okay. And I didn't get to see how far over I was here. Near to there. I'm going to have to make this one a little bit bigger. Okay, I just not realized that. All right, that's fine. So we're going to go to our B. Oh, she was telling me when I started at 12:50. I think that's when we started, though. Okay, so now I'm going to go and need line 820 is going to need to be extended because we're going to basically keep this the same size as we got down here. So I'm going to do some fancy inserts here. Oh, I can't do the inserts because I'm already on the line. Okay, I just have to just redraw it then. Was it D again? T, B. I just got to forget the dang thing again. It's A, B. It was B, right? B. It was C. So C. And then B. Something like that would be good, I guess. All right. Not perfect, but we're going to work on it here. And then next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to print probably a whole line down here on this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat this line up here. We're just going to need to make it look like that anyway. Look at the line here. There we go. Okay, he was asking me why 2 loop? Why 4 2 loop? Okay. Well, so somebody asked me why am I doing the 4 2 loop? that was basically just a test to show you beginners how a loop actually works. Later, I'll be accumulating this in an actual checking account, so it'll be tallying this in the result. You'll see what it's going to do here. Hopefully, we can get this going tonight. But that was just kind of a test out for beginners there. If you haven't caught on to this, it is the basic, playground. So it's very, very beginner stuff in a lot of ways. Of course, I'm taking jumps tonight and everything to kind of catch up here. So here I'm going to create, actually, I want to do inverse. I'm going to do our little inverse here. Wait. Oh, that's right. I got to set it up there. And I'm going to inverse off there. So we're going to do a little logout section here. We could probably split the screen up here a little bit. Somewhere here, I'm going to split up. This is going to be a division of these screens. I'll probably have to go back and modify this a few times here. You see what I'm doing is I'm building. If I go to right now, line 800, you'll see what's happening here. See, I'm building. I need to line it up a little bit, but I'm building this little display down the screen here. So it's going to go from top down to bottom here. So I need to move this over 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 more. Okay. Oh. I remember that insert thing. It's this one. Never mind. I think that would be a good place for it right there. I think that'd be good. Let's go to 80 again, 800. Ah, thought I moved it. 1, 2, say 1, 2, 3. It needs to be over 3. Apparently I didn't even move it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Should be good now. 1, 2. I was moving the second one. Oh, I wasn't moving the last one. I was moving the one in the middle there. I just not realized that. I wasn't moving this one. There we go. So we're also going, I just now realized we're going to probably need another line down here, but for now, I'll just leave that the way it is. That should be good. Oh, it went a little too far. We're going to bring it back one. A little bit too far there. There it goes. Now it's lined up. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is just going to kind of print like an intersection underneath here. We could use some more fancy characters. Let's see which one would be a good one to use. E, F, G, H, I, J. Oh, there's any good ones on this one. I'm going to use this one. I like using this one a lot. Not that one. J, K, L, M, N, O, P. I could use Q probably. Q is not bad. But it's a little ball shape. And I think I'll split this up. Make it look a little bit like it's divided there. And then our B. Kind of weird, I know, but. Oh, I went one too far over. Theirs look like they're lined up here, but they're not coming lined up over there. Oh, did I do the wrong one again? Oh, I just gotta take one back there. There we go. That looks good now. Should probably take out the first one too. That looks kind of like that. Okay, I think that looks good enough for now. Okay, it's kind of weird, but you know, just think of it, it's going to be looking like an online bank system. I got the idea tonight just looking at my checking account. I thought, this is kind of cool if I could kind of emulate, you know, what my bank account, you know, how a bank account would actually look. Oh, got the B's again. It's looking okay now. Okay, so now we're going to finally get ready to be able to put in our data here real soon. I'm going to do an empty line though to make it look a little clean here. And for those who may be wondering, I'm just using the shift key to get characters like that, and then the control key to get other characters. Okay, so I'm going to leave these ones like this. I think that should be good. Yep, now I'm getting the hang of it. Oh, this one's off a little bit. I can bring this one back to 1, 2, and I can move that over 2. Okay, I think it's looking good now. Now I'm going to divide another line down here to make it look a little clean. I'm just trying to make it look like what my Chase account looked like. Now I need a line going across. Let's see here. So when I did earlier was a T. Let's see, A, B, C, D. Oh, it's C, isn't it? I think a C will be fine. Okay, now that's kind of divided from the top. You know, you got a little logout screen. You got the name, the person on the checking account. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some insertion. So whenever we type in a purchase, we want to keep track of the purchase. I was going to put a date in, but I don't know if I'm going to have room for a date. I was going to try to put a date like in this corner right above here. Like, for example, today is the 15th. Something like that. I could test it out here. And then something like that, blood purchase, but it's not really going to fit. We're going to say blood PR. They kind of abbreviate everything on banks anyway. And then over here, we would have the transaction amount. That's kind of the whole idea behind it. And it just accumulates down and then maybe have like a little, you know, like a little line down here like this to give you an idea what's going on. And just using arrow keys here. And let's just say we had, well, we had the same date, right? And then we had the bugs. I call it package. So it's just PKG or something for package. And then we had that one at $5, right? Something like that. And it's going to, somewhere down here toward the bottom, we're going to have W for, did an equal sign here, for withdrawal, right? And then we're going to have, of course, the D for deposits. This is the first thing I ever learned. Well, not the first thing, but when I took a Java class back at DeVry University, we actually learned how to build a checking account. At that time, I was learning object-oriented programming, so I thought that'd be a good example to work for. Because then we can make the computer look for the W or the D to know how it's kind of interacting. Okay, I was just interacting with the chat again there, keeping track of what everybody's doing. Okay. Okay, so the next thing now we're going to be doing is inside of our program, before we compute it, we're going to need to go back to our actual program here, and we're going to need to keep track of our BUs, because our BUs is going to be used right here where it says, what do you want to buy today? We need to store this into an array itself too, so we can add that to the checking account. So we're going to need to create another dimensioned array here. So I think up here somewhere in line 42, since we haven't created one, we could just do one here. And I'm just going to call this one items, ITs for items or something like that. I'm just going to say 100. I don't know how much to reserve right now, but just thinking here. And then we're going to keep track of our item as we go through the program here. For now, it's just going to be real simple. So as we go through the program here, we're going to set our item. Probably 143 might work. We're going to set it to the item that, well, ITs is the item that we're going to be accumulating. Set that to TT since we're accumulating in a string loop. And we're going to make it equal to the BU strings each time. So each time it goes through, it's going to store it in pockets keeping track of the whatever we're typing in for BUs. We are doing the number as BUs, so actually we're probably going to need a separate input for that, because right now it's saying, what did you want to buy today? And that's just telling you put in a number. So somehow we're going to need to make it know which one we're using. So we're going to have to change the program. I just now realized. Earlier, we made it real simple. We made it so that it was basically receiving a number here, but we want to get a little bit more specific. So now I'm going to introduce something a little bit different here to you. Watch this. This is stuff that I learned back in the days. Let's see, lines 80 through 100. So line 80 will say something like this. And line 90. And line 100. So now it's keeping track of what you're typing. Whoops, I'm too far. It's going to keep track of here which number, and we're going to make it read the number telling it what to do with everything down here. So now we're going to get a little bit more complex. We're basically creating a subroutine to keep track of our variables and stuff like that, and our algorithm going on here. So somewhere probably down here would be a better, because it's not, we could probably use the same CV, because CV right now is still keeping track, but it's only going to be a number right now. So CV originally was going to keep track of what we were typing in as a number. Now CV is going to have to keep track of what the value is that we're typing and assign it to that value. So we're going to probably have to do an input statement here. So we're going to need to kind of shift a few little lines there. I'm going to go ahead and move this one down here, like to 119, so we can make some room here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead now and get rid of 112 so I can start reusing that space. And this is why you would this is the thing you're probably learning about, why you would want to skip between like 10 lines, like start like 60, 70, 80. This is exactly the reason, because you want to be able to go back in and make changes later for, additions that you're doing to your program. So in this case now, I'm just going to use 111 in this case, in case I have just enough lines I want to use. And we're going to use conditions. Okay, time to explain conditions. Now, there are a lot of people who know what conditions are, but for those who don't, a condition, as I explained it, I think I explained it before, showing a box, like you have two boxes or whatever. I might just switch back to the camera here for a minute to show you what I mean by that. Just to kind of give you a live visual example. Hi, guys. So think of this box, and you got this. These are two different conditions, right? So we got one here, result here, and another result here. And we want to basically be able to travel and take data from this. In this case, I got little LEDs here, since I'm in electronics now. And just pull out a little LED. I'll pull out a blue one here. So there's a little blue LED, right? And then we're going to basically put it inside of our box here. And then that's going to establish a condition. As long as the condition is true, the LED is going to remain in the box. But if a condition is not true, the LED is not going to be in the box. That means it's false. So hopefully that makes sense when we start doing this. Okay, so let's start on with conditions. Conditions are going to be either true or false. So a condition is going to be either a 1 or 0. So what I was explaining earlier was binary. I was showing you when there's an LED example in the box, that means that condition is true because it now got a result in it. If there's nothing in the box, though, if it's taken out, it's going to be 0. That means it's false. So condition can be used to read variables and get results. So what we're going to be doing now is a real simple thing. We're going to make it read from line 110. So I'll show you line 110 again here, so we can kind of keep up with this here. Where did my advice go again? Keep a track of all these things again here. Okay, here's our advice there. Okay, keep it up there. So line 110 is that. And then we'll start 111 again here. So the way you start a condition is you start it with if. So if something is something, then we're going to do something. So as a result of this, we're going to be looking at BUs, right? Because BUs is the first thing we're saying. So if BUs is equal, in this case, I also have CV set to a value here. So I'm going to need to probably do this after the conversion. Let me just make sure I got this on the right line. we're going to need to shift this one up because we're converting it here. So I'm going to set this to 111 actually. 110 to 112 would be good. Right there. Now we converted it. We could use it as a number, right? So it's CV, which is now a number. So what did this do? This took whatever we typed into BU. In this example, we're going to, here, let me just break this down a little bit more here to show you so we can keep track of all the lines here for those who are like, where are you going with this? So to make it clear here, I'm just going to say list 80 through 112, 111, whatever. And just to say 112 so I know which one I'm on. So it's going to say, are we choosing 1? It's blood. Are we choosing 2? It's human. Are we choosing 3? It's bug. And that's all this line is doing right here. Now this is setting up a string. A string is not a number, by the way. A string is not going to be able to set numbers. It only sets characters which are not mathematical. You can't do math on strings unless you convert them. And that's what this line right here is doing. It's saying CV equals the val line of BU. So val line is it's a weird word. I don't know what the word val is coming from, but it's a conversion. It's basically converting it into a number. So when we print out CV, it's going to give us an actual number of what BU is. So in this case, we're going to say if CV equals 1, that means we chose blood. In this case, then we could set up a GOSUB here. I'm just going to use that for 800 for now. And in 113, we're going to say if CV equals 2, and I know there's not a way to do it, so I'm just doing this very simply again. Then we're going to say GOSUB 900. I think that'd be good enough, maybe. 900 for now, I guess. Okay, 114. If CV equals 3, then we're going to say 1000, I guess. I was trying to read what somebody wrote here. Remember to add for string codes are in... Didn't quite get this, so track, whatever. Okay, so what we're doing is we're now setting up these equations here that's going to allow us to do our results. Now, did 800, did I put that? Well, actually, 800 is going to actually do, I need to do it past 800 because that's where I was building my checking out system. So I'm going to need to change this up a little bit here. So let's see here. So we'll probably, based on by this checking account screen, it might go up to 1,000. I don't know how big it's going to be. I'm going to say 1,000 anyway. If I need to change it, I will. And then we're going to set this in increments here. So that the 1,200 and 1,400 is good enough for now. I'm just doing big jumps in between because we're drawing that checking account screen at the same time here. So I'm just kind of preparing room here. So now 1,000 should be safe. Just a double check here to make sure I don't overwrite in that data here. We're good. So 1,000 is going to be the result of our first calculation, which we know to be, isn't that our blood? Make sure here. So blood, human, bugs. Okay. I was just writing that down, so I had to keep looking that one up there. All right. So next thing we're going to do now is we're going to basically use this to keep track of what we just did. Now we know we chose blood. We could do a safe calculation just on blood alone, and we could store that into our ITs right here. So essentially we're going to be using our ITs, and we're going to be reusing them. We're going to get rid of all those other lines we used before because it was just a trial example. Now we're going to get a little more serious here. Now we're going to say ITs TT. We already know we chose 1 for blood, so we can actually assign this as blood. In this case, I called it blood PR for purchase earlier, right? And then we also always want to accumulate TT so that we can go on to the next item, so we don't lose track of which item we're on each time. Where's that dang plus sign? It's right there. Okay. And the next thing we're going to be doing, now that we got our blood purchase, we're keeping track of our what's in our account, right? Now, the only thing I didn't do here is I used earlier the number to keep track of it, but now we're going to have to keep track of it in actual numbered results to know which one we're choosing. So we already know that this one is already going to be equal to the blood. So we can already assume what it's already being, the blood is being equal to. The blood here, as we chose from here, is pen, which is 2,000. So I'm just going to make a note here on my pad here too, so I know which one I'm on each time. The blood was 2,000, and then the human is equal to, oh no, human Human was 20,000. 20,000. And then, of course, we got the bug is the 5 only. Okay. Now that we got that, let's go back to our line. And we're keeping track. We know that this is our condition for blood. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to create our little accounting system here. Oh, actually, our TT actually too. We don't want to accumulate our TT here yet either. I just not realized that. Okay, so 1,010. We don't want to accumulate it until we're done with everything. So TT is equal to, now we're going to do our subtraction, right? So remember earlier we were subtracting our DO minus the result that we're doing. So in this case, we already know that our count is going to start at the 1 million mark. So really all we're going to be doing is we're just going to be subtracting our DO minus our number. In this case, we don't even need to even assign it to any special variable because we already know by result, this is going to be 2000 was 2000, right? Now I think we can go ahead and accumulate our number. I don't think we need to do anything else with it yet. I think we're good there. It should be good on that first one. That's just anything I skipped here. Don't think I did. Okay, got that. And I got the totals, result. The calculation looks like it's good. It's got the total. It's going to print the result. It's going to tell us the accumulation. Yeah, I think we're good there. So now here's something I need to explain for those who may not know this. What we're doing is we're GOSUBing. It's like a subroutine. It's going to jump to line 1000 after we make a condition statement. And then it's going to read the data here from 1000 until it gets to something called a return statement, and it's going to jump back to where it came from. So if you go back into my program here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. You list out 110 to 112. And then we're going to list 1000 down here. Like that. There we go. So we're essentially here, we're going to take the input, putting it in our to choose which one we're choosing, whether it's 1, 2, or 3. In this case, I only did it to 1 because we're just doing the first one here for blood. And we're GOSUB to 1000. So it's basically remark means it's not doing anything, but this is just telling us what the line does. And it's going to take our item, it's going to start calculating this into a string array. And we're going to just put the word blood per for purchase, blood purchase in there. So we could keep that in our accounting screen. And then after that, we're going to accumulate this in our account. And we're going to subtract the dollar because we already know that the overall total that the alien has currently is $1 million. And we're going to subtract that from our 2000 because we already chose 1, which is the blood. So we can safely write 2000 in there. And then we're just going to tally to get ready for the next result. So that one should be good. It looks like I'll probably be able to make a little bit more room on this one. I set it to 1200, but I think 1000 will be 1100 will be okay. Let me change it up here actually to, I have more enough room here to do it like this. Okay. Now we're on to the next one, which why I wrote it down, human. So we see there, number 2 is going to 1100. So now we're working off of number 2. So we're still following this path. And I'll just relist again for those who want to see. 115. Maybe I have enough numbers on there to show you. Okay. Now we're on to 1100. So we're going to be on the human here. And we're just repeating kind of what we did in the previous examples here, except we're going to be changing out some more data. Now, there's another way to shorten this program, but I'm not going to go into that right now. For those who are probably saying, you could probably shorten this more. Yes, I could. But it's just simple. It's a basic playground. So we're here to just kind of do basic stuff for now. The next one we're doing here is our human. So human body. I don't know what to put on that one. Call it something. And then we'll say 120. And then what we're going to do here, create our count. And it's already keeping track of where TT is every single time. And once again, our dollar. And I actually forgot to do something here. So probably somebody didn't remind me of that. You have to subtract from your dollar here. Each time has to subtract from that total. And we know the human body was the one that's 20,000. There's 20,000 there. And now we're going to TT again. So we could actually go to TT if we want, but I'm just trying to make it real simple here. Now you can see how very simple it is. There's our blood, there's our human. Now we can move on to the next one, which is going to be our bugs. And gratefully, I have not been bid up lately, so I'm pretty thankful for that. I'm calling this one bugs package. Put it 1219. Always want to erase a line if you reuse a line. Okay, now we're going to go accumulate our count. And subtract that from our total. I'm just going to put another message out here to the screen for some people here. Okay, I was just asking if people are following where I'm going, seeing what my ideal is. This is the whole ideal of that for loop. Now we're keeping track of information we could put into an actual checking account and get tallied results. So this is actually working like almost like a live checking account. Except right now, it's only depositing. It's not withdrawing. Okay, let me test to make sure the audio is live. Somebody says the audio kicked out. The microphone is on. Everything comes with its own territory. So let me see here. When did you guys lose audio? Audio is working again? Okay, okay, she's hearing me great. Okay, so basically people are having audio troubles. I wanted to make sure I wasn't losing anything here because I'm looking at my microphone. I still see my microphone moving, but other people were saying they were having trouble. So I was trying to keep up. Maybe you guys were having disconnection issues or whatever. Audio's working again. Okay. So I don't know what's going on there. I still have Romelle communicating on her side. I'll probably just test the YouTube video here to make sure it's working. It looks like it did kicked out there. Okay, it came back. Okay, right when I said it tested, it came back there. Okay, we're back on track again here, so we're going to continue, okay? All right. So back to where it was here, 900 here. We're going to now be able to print in our data that we're keeping track of in our ITs and all that data information. Okay, audio is okay. No. Yeah, we're saying everybody's good again. Sounds okay. Okay. All right. I need a bigger monitor. I'm trying to like get everything in one screen here and keep track of everything that's going on here. Okay. It's such a job. It's such a chore. I'm keeping track of OBS. I'm keeping track of Google Hangouts, and I'm also keeping track of my Vice screens. I'm keeping track of the chats as well, and even keeping track of my friend on Facebook. So there's a lot of interaction going on here, a lot of multitasking I'm doing to try to keep up with everybody as much as I can. So anyways, we got our IT strings, and we're going to, I don't know, maybe skip 1 or 2 lines here. I said I was going to put the date in, but now I think I'll just fat finger the date here. Later we could just something like that. I think that'll work good. Now you're going to learn something now. I might have mentioned this before, but now we're going to do something called concatenation. Concatenation is allowing us to take data that we're using in a variable and append it to an actual string. This line right here is an actual string. It's a print string. And in here, now we're going to attach data that we're using in our actual program to attach it. So we're basically be picking up that item here. If all's well, it should work there. Okay, so that should print our item. It will probably have to count for so much screen data because each one's going to be different. So if let's say the blood purchase is still on, so I'll just have to do a trial run to see what this is going to do. It may or may not work the way I want it, but we'll see. Now that we got that, we're going to probably, I'd say we'll probably skip a few spaces here. I don't know how many. I'm just guessing right now. And then next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be printing in our balance. And our balance was our account total. Something like that. We'll go ahead and test it here in just a minute just to see what it comes out to be. Somewhere down here I'd have the end of my line here too, but I'm going to print it for now so I can see what it's actually doing. Maybe 910, we could just repeat this one again because we want to separate the lines and stuff like that. And then I'm in a checking account. So for now, I think I'm just going to pause it here. We'll say probably 999. 999, I'm just going to say go to 999 so I can kind of pause it at that line. So once we're going to test as soon as I type in my account, after we do some transactions, we'll use our account and interact with this line here. So first, I'm going to do some transactions so we can get some totals going. We know there's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Let's do one more, I guess. 4, right? Now that we got 4, we're going to type in A for account. It should go to my GOSUB 800 line screen. And now we got some errors here. So see right here, I was trying to make it insert here, so it's done something incorrectly here. So let's go ahead and take a look here. But you can probably see what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do some embedding here. while keeping track of everybody else. Sometimes it's hard to code while you're trying to see what everybody else is doing. I think I probably need a semicolon here. My guess is. Just going to retype it, see if I can see it for myself. Okay, that's one string right there. That should end the string right there. Maybe I do need a semicolon. Oh, it didn't accumulate our TT either, did it? Oh, I know what I did. I know exactly what I did. I was reusing the old data. So as a result, what it was doing is it was never reading 1, 2, or 3. I was using numbers. I wasn't finding it. So essentially it was going down here and it was using this data. So we're going to erase all this data down here too, because we don't need that anymore, because we're using that in our GOSUBs now. So I'm going to take out pretty much everything. 20 or 119. So I'll take out 140, 42, 145. I might just take out all these, because now we're going to be using a whole different. We could probably leave that one in though, the remaining balance and stuff, just for now. It's not going to hurt anything as long as we're not accumulating anything there, changing anything. Okay. Now I'll have to go ahead and redo it again here. I probably had it right. Well, actually, it wasn't working too, because it printed out ASCII instead of actually reading out what was in that actual array there. So let's just do it again. This time we do it right. So what are you going to buy today? I'm going to buy me some blood. There it goes. I'm going to buy me some bugs. There we go. Buy me some humans. There we go. Okay, now that I got some totals here, I can go to my account now. Okay, I got a 0 here. At least I got a number this time. I didn't probably get what I wanted, but I got a number, which is what I was looking for, but just not the right number. So let's see. TT was 0. Oh, TT was 5. Oh, so my TT is probably accumulating. Oh, you know what? My TT is accumulating each time I'm doing that. So what I need to actually do, I know. I need to reset my TT over here when I'm reading my data from my account. TT is accumulating because we want to keep it track. So we're going to have 2 separate counters going on here. That's necessary. So every time we go into our account here, let me think about this for a second. So we're accumulating. If we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, or so on, just choosing the value each time. Let's keep a track of that in the array. We want to be able to read the array back out. We probably could reset TT, but that probably wouldn't be good because it would start overwriting data. That's not what I want. I guess I'm going to have to just accumulate it in like a for loop kind of session kind of thing. As we go down here, it could be a for loop, and it could be reading the exact data down the loop here. I think I'm going to do that. So 895. We're just going to say for XX or whatever, for LL loop, whatever you want to call it. You can use any value you want for the loop here. Equals 0 to however many we're going to print out. Let's just say the TT would tell the total anyway, right? So we just use TT because we're using a different loop here now. So now we're going to print out our results from our loop. So if you look at it this way, 895 going down, it's going to print this LL. So we need to change this one to LL, both of these to LL. So it's knowing what's inside of these arrays in this string, the string array and this regular array, single dimension array. And as a result of that, it's going to print the line. So I think I could just do 915 or 912 or whatever with the next and get away with that. And that should be good. So we'll test it with just one for now. There it goes. Look, it put in the blood purchase just like I wanted, and it put the total. Well, it actually is it put the wrong data over here, but you saw it put a number in here because it was reading the total of the account. Rather, I wanted it to read the blood purchase. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to change that. That's going to be our total. That's going to be necessary later, which is why I was keeping track of that. But we also want to go down here, and we want to make it know what each time the item is that we're choosing and put it in the order as it's being chosen there. So well, it's actually going to be a number because I could probably accumulate that. I probably need to keep track of the 2000 and whatever, set those in a separate array. Because we got an array here for the total. We also got an array here for the items. We're going to need an array to keep track of which one we're choosing each time too. So I think we're going to do that. I was using this TB for something, but I never used it. I'm just going to use TB, I guess. Set it to 9 for now. Who knows? TB is just for a table. So as a result of that, we need to do some more modifications to our lines down here again. Because now we're going to be keeping track of what is 2000 doing. And here we're going to be inserting some middle lines between again. So 1025 is going to be our TB. And actually, I just now realized I can't use TB. TB is going to be a single array when I need a string array. So we could just call it TB strings. Give it a little bit more room here for these. You have to dimension these because you can run into errors otherwise. Two strings 100, like that. She said she don't hear me, but now they can hear me. I was just checking something there. Okay, now that I got the TV strings going, and I'm hoping the YouTube has never kicked anything out. I've always saw the mic and I've been watching it the whole time. Even if, for example, if you guys are kicking in and out, you can always go back and watch the YouTube video. The YouTube video should always be in sync, and I've been watching my mic the whole time here, as much as I can. Now we're doing the totals here for our bank account. We're keeping track of the accumulations here, and down here we're going to keep track of our totals for our TVs. So 1025 is going to be our TV strings with our total, and I had to stick it before the TT so we don't override anything here. In this case, we know that one's 2000, so we can safely do 2000. And then we're going to come down to the next one here, which is going to be 1125, and do the same thing, except for the next number, which we know the human body is 20. And then we'll go down to the next one here, which we know on, actually I left off my TT. I just realized I didn't put my TT on this one. Oh, so I'm going to set this to 1240, and 1230 should be TT. It's TT plus 1, just to relist these again. There we go. And then now I'm going to put 1225 TV strings TT equals 5. So that should always keep track of what's going into TT each time as it's going through the loop each time, if everything's well here, if I've done this correctly. We're going to go ahead and do a trial run again here. I'm going to also save my program here because I cannot afford this thing. Now, if you want to do an overwrite, I think I showed this before, but you just basically do little @ sign here. You find it like that. I just usually put a 0 for the device number and just write the name of the one you're overwriting each time. There we go. You can always verify it too. It's good. Okay, let's go ahead and run it. And then we're going to do our, start off with our human. Oh, I got a type mismatch here. What happened here? Oh, what was I thinking? I was putting in 2000. Actually, I had this right earlier. What was I thinking? So TV is just keeping track of the number. So actually, my bad. So line 42 can just be without the string like that. It's really keeping track of the number. That's why it gave me that error, because it was trying to stuff a number into a string that wasn't converted. Okay. So now I'm just going to choose, let's choose blood, I guess, first. Why did I get a type match here? Oh, because I got to change all these too. Of course. Of course. Bugs, bugs, bugs. That's exactly why I called it bugs. Bzzz. There we go. Okay, now we're ready to get these bugs squashed. Now we got one. We'll do a couple more here. There's another one. There we go. Now let's go ahead and look at our account and see what we got. Hopefully everything goes well. Oh, look at that. We got some numbers. The only thing is I'm putting in the wrong numbers, but you can see now it's actually starting to build an actual checking account. Ooh, just the way I wanted it. I'm so excited, guys. It's just, it's not formatting exactly. So if I probably start putting line on here, probably start shifting data around because it's always putting in those spaces after it. So it's kind of hard to account for it, but I think that's good enough for now. So we're just going to replace those numbers though with our correct TBs. So instead of it printing out the total of the account or remaining balances, we're just going to change that to TB. It's that simple. We have an actual account going on here. I'm so excited. Okay, so anyways, going back to line 2 for 20,000. Number 3, we could actually do this pretty long now. I could do a couple over him here. I could do 2 of these together. It's eventually going to print it off the screen of what it's going to do. Now, if I go to account and look at it, look at that. It's giving us, and what I want to do eventually is totals. You see it's going down the line. It's showing each one as I chose it, and it went down the line exactly as I chose it in the order. So it's looking like an actual checking account now, isn't it? So somewhere here down at the very end, we'll probably need to do a total. So I wanted to do that down here somewhere. Actually, I just need to repeat this line. See, line 880 at 920. I just reuse lines to make it a little bit easier. And then somewhere over here, we're going to do a total. Think here for a second. It's going to be after here. Yeah, because we're not going to need to reprint our line here. Somewhere over here, we're going to have our total. If I've done that correctly. It may not be lined up, but we'll line it up later. So let's start doing some tallies. This time I'll do them in order to show you that they're actually working. And the loop is there just to kind of show you it's working. What do you guys think of it so far? There you go. Now it's something went wrong with the last line though. I think it may have went too high, one higher. So if I go to AC5, or wait, let's see, where's our totals coming from? Let's make sure we're doing this right here. Go back and check the program again here. So our totals are accumulating into ACD each time. It's overriding D. D0 equals D0. So AC is always just putting into back the same result. So basically, AC is never really accumulating from anything. DO is probably the one we want to keep track of. DO needs to be tracked, basically placed into an array to keep track of what our total is. Originally, I did this to keep track of the account. So I just need to rethink this. Basically, I think if I flip those around and then I pass the DO in there each time, it should be passing, and I take out the DO and just make it equal to DO. It should be good. Okay, I know what I got to do. We'll accumulate and subtract from our DO, and then we're going to pass that result, remaining result, into our account. And that should keep track of the totals. And we're going to change that for each line. 1120 and 1220. So let's see, 1120. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, 1120 would be this one. 1120 is going to be the 20,000. And then 1220 is going to be our 5. Should be good. Okay, so looking at the results here again, just double checking it, subtracting from our dollar amount, put in accumulating, put in our total. We basically kept track of our TB. We accumulated that, and we're doing the same thing down there, keeping track of our 20,000, and putting that in the account. I think it looks good. Subtracting our bugs 5 and putting it into the count. I think we're okay now. Whoops. I was where to hit my space bar that came back on. Okay. At least I know my audio is still working. Okay, this time I'm going to go backward. Start with the blood. So I have to figure out why it's skipping over that one, but that's all right. As long as it's doing it in order here. All right. This time we're going to get a lot of results here. Okay, let's go look at it. Uh-oh, something wrong with our total. I was checking to make sure it's not one back from the other. Okay, so thinking about this again here. So DO is never changing. So DO is going to always be that number. And I actually will need to print these results toward each number eventually to show the deductions next to it, but I probably won't have room for that on the same line as a checking account. We could probably set it on a separate line. But for now, it's good. I'm just trying to see why my account did not total here. And essentially all I'm doing right now is I'm just overriding data. I'm probably not setting a total in here, like a TT equals TT plus this. Yeah, I need to actually tally the total results, because all I'm doing right now is I'm keeping track of the account, but I'm not totaling it. So we could do that in another variable. We'll just call it, that's what he was actually saying, sum. Let's call it sum. Good one. Let's call it sum. Sum. SU for sum. And that would be the total of our ACTT, which would be the results. Working it out little by little. There we go. Now I'm going to use my new SU and pass that into my display. Well, toward the end of my display. Right there. And I just change it in one simple line there. All's well, ends well. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our account. Here's our totals. What we're on now. So some of it were written by our SU here. So SU equals time equals SU plus ACTT. SU equals SU plus ACTT. So it should keep accumulating SUTT. I don't know, maybe I do need to initialize SU or something. I'll just do 1 or 2 here. Test it out. So 0, but it's not accumulating. Well, it's definitely stored results. And it says move sum above. Or just flip them around. Oh yeah, because I'm trying to accumulate my sum after I done my total. Good point. I'm making the same mistake I done earlier. Thank you, Steve. Or Stein? Stein, I'm sorry. SACTT. that. Flip them around. That's why you always got to keep track of where your totals are and everything. It's easy to get lost otherwise. I'll resave again. You guys can go ahead and save too if you're following along. Thanks for the help, everybody. All right. My issues are not tracking here. Let me take again for a minute here. Count total keeps a count total. We know that those tally totals were working. We're setting SU equals SU plus ACTT. You're returning the result. Oh. I was using a regular variable, but I wasn't using an array to an array. Did you guys catch that? I set up an SU array, but I was just using an SU variable. And I was thinking like a total result, but really I could have just take this total result, pass it into my SU, because I can still do this. I'll show you what I'll do here. I still got the total here, and I'll prove it here if I didn't erase anything. See, there's my totals. All I have to do is this. Well, actually, I need to reverse these again. I just not realized that. Okay, so let's just reverse them. Or should I just do this? TT equals TT plus 1. Makes sense? Now I'm accumulating it in our correct array, where earlier I was trying to accumulate in a variable, and the variable is just going to keep getting overwritten. Array is going to be able to keep track of a lot of different parts of the numbers in that compartments, as I explained earlier in the box example. I think we're coming to an end. Well, maybe not to an end, but we're coming to some kind of happy result here. As Bob Rice used to say, happy little trees, happy little this, happy little that. So it's a happy little program. All right, I think it looks good. I'm going to resave again. Let's get our results going. Mix it up a little bit. It's only going to show so many in the loop there because I only showed it 4 lines there. But we've got a lot more tallies going on here. So now if we go to our count, now let's pause it so you can see it going down the screen there. Uh-oh. Now what happened? Oh, it started at 0. So see, it's getting It's getting overridden here somewhere. Why is it doing like every other one? Got a couple of results. It must be skipping because it's still tallying or something here. Let me see what is going on and make sure something. Oh, we had our TT accumulating down here every single time. We don't want it to accumulate anymore, or we could just use a different value here. So we don't want this TT to accumulate because we're not using, these are conditions or controlling TT now. And this was actually why it was skipping too. Get rid of 167. What do you mean by no check printout? I didn't quite get that. And now you see, it's not skipping anything. But our totals are still not coming up right for some reason. Oh, they're there though, look at that. They're all there. I think it probably went past TT or something when it accumulated here. Let's see here. I put SUTT. Oh, right here. See, I did as I used TT again. Bad example again. I'm trying to reuse TT. But TT is already accumulating. We want to make it always know where did the sum end up at. And as a result, if I was using TT, it's never going to know. So I probably have to do TT minus 1. Let me see. What is TT right now? TT is 5. I think that one might work. That makes sense because we already accumulated the last TT and we need to see the last result. So we could just say TT minus 1. I think that should be close. I'll have to do some math calculations to make sure now. Do a bunch of them again. Here's our checking account. There it is. Now let's prove it. We have to do this though. We have to take the total result, which is our DO, right? And we'd have to set a variable equal to our DO because we're changing our DO to make sure it's equal to this number. So down here, I'm just going to give a total. Let's just call this one T. No, I can't use TO. T1's good. It's going to call it T1. Oops, I forgot what the first number was. I think it was 2000. Oh, now I don't even know which one it was. Well, I was going to try to see if I could get the right totals. I don't know if this number is tallied correctly unless we technically calculate it to make sure it is right. But you can see it's working like a checking account, right? It's taking the results here. And it's basically saying what your remaining balance is of the $1 million you had. So normal in a checking account here, to show you here, I'll do it again here. Okay, I got some more results there. So normally in a checking account, when you go to the count at the top of the screen, it would show your beginning balance. And as you're going down the screen here, it would be listing this is the balance remaining here, this is the balance remaining here, because it's basically taking a deduction and showing the result over here. I just don't have a lot of room on the 40 screen here unless I kind of took out some of these or something. I wanted to make it pretty accurate. So there you can see got a little bank account going on, right? Where we only got the deposits going on, but we could later do withdrawals and stuff like that. How long has this video been? Probably about an hour or something, 2 hours. I don't know. I think it's been pretty fun now, huh? Got a little store going on. We converted our store. We learned about conditions. These are simple conditions. I didn't want to go into complex conditions. I'm glad I didn't because they could get very complicated. Later you could use greater or less than. We'll probably come to that. So just to kind of go over all the stuff, we did cover the ASCII. This is the ASCII characters whenever we're basically, you know, those are the ASCII characters. And then we did the positions on the screen by drawing the checking account. And then we didn't do the mids. We didn't really need the mids. I was going to use that to convert like numbers and dates and stuff like that. And lefts, we're probably not going to go into that. But mid is basically just reading a center value. So if you take, for example, what's in BUs, actually, it's probably not a good example. Let's use the TVs as an example, or items. Items. And then the mids, for example, can distract middle parts of it like this. Extracts parts of areas here that's going through here. So as you move this number up more, it's going to start reading different numbers on the screen. And now what it's doing is it's saying, move me over 3, 1. It's actually, I think it starts at 0, 1, 2. No, 1, 2, 3. That's right. And it's reading the O there, and it's reading at one character. If I set it to 2, you'll see OO, right? Set it to 3, you'll see the bled. If I change this to 4, you'll see that it gets the next characters in line. So that's all it's doing is it's reading center characters. The lefts will always read from the left part of the character. So if I set this to 1, it's going to read the B first, right? Because that's the first thing on the left. And if I set this to 2, vice versa, it would just keep reading in the order as it goes down until we got the whole thing, printed on the screen, essentially. There's also writes, which I didn't mention. Oops, I just ran the program there. Just back to BUs. I'll probably have to get some data into my BUs here, so that's good. Now I got an item in here I can play with. And then if I go into my writes, I can read it from the right instead. Careful not to do that special run. One of these is run in the program automatically. I'll set it to 2, and see what it's doing is just reading 2 from the right here. If I set it to 3, it would read 3 from the right. That's how those commands work. Next thing a lot of people like to do is they go in and they start adding colors to this and make it fancier looking and stuff like that. I was just making it a real simple example to show you how a checking account works. But like I said, we could also go in here. We could set it to deposit. So I made it go down through and I made it pause at the very end of the screen. But now we could set an input parser once we're done with our line. So I'm going to go ahead and clean out the last line here. So line 910 to 9, let's see, 910, let's say to 950 or something like that. So I know I have enough lines here. And it will just say like 930 is going to kind of finish it off here. So I need to know which characters is going to be. Just going to type them out again so I can find them. That one. J, K, L. L might work. So L, A, B. R will work. Oh, R is a little bit off. It may not be in this one. I may have to go to Shift. Oops. Can you find this one? I'm trying to find the one that prints the bottom line. Maybe I passed it up here somewhere. G, H, I, J, K, L, N, O, P, Q, R. R was a little bit above the line though. See, I could still use R, but it's a little bit above the line. Probably going to be the, well, that's the one I was actually looking for. X. It's a little bit off though, like that. I could print them over here and actually look at them here. M N O P, nope. Q R S T U V W X Y and Z. So it's not going to be in those ones. So I use now the Commodore key. R S T U V X. It's let's see. I'm looking for. I'm looking for the one that looks like that. So it kind of is like a little L shape. B. I'm ready to go grab my book here. So I have my Commodore 64 book here because I am going to be going crazy trying to find this. That's what the ASCII character, if you remember from video 1, we talked about the ASCII characters. You can look them up in the back using an index, and it'll show you what the ASCII characters are for the codes you're typing on the screen. So in this example, please tell me it's in this book. Oh, here we go. I probably typed it in earlier. It was actually 108. It's that one right there. I have no idea which key that is. So let's see. Does it tell me? Does it tell me which key it is? I need the screen code for it, I think. L almost looks like it, but L is too small. M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y Z. So it may not be any of these. I'm just going to separate them with spaces. It's not any of those. Oh, there it was. There was Z. It's Z right there. I could probably find that line now. Might be that one. That one almost looks like it, but that's not quite the one. Maybe either O or P. So OP. Oh, O. It's probably O and P. Why do they look the same? O and P. So P is a little bit lower. So it'd be O, P. Yeah, P is way too low. I need one that's higher. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And then going with the shift now. D, E. Maybe it's one of those I need. C. Oh, C. C works perfect. Just trying to make it look nice. There we go. It was C. All that wasted time, but it was C. Now it'll look like normal. Whoops. You put a number that's on here, by the way, it won't do anything. We didn't use a condition for it. There's our little checking account going on. Okay, so what I was going to do is I was going to make it interact. I have enough time here, and see if we can make it do. Well, we need to print those commands at the bottom here. That's what I'm going to do next here. I'm just going to set a print statement here. And the 950 is kind of set up like I showed earlier. We could actually do even like a tab over or something, maybe 8, and then something like W equals withdrawal. Maybe do a few more spaces. D equals deposit. And then here we could interact with it, but 960 to make it a little bit more clean. I'm going to do it in a 930, I think. Let's go to 800 a minute. Oh, 920 gave me an error anyway. Oh, because we don't have data in it yet. But oh, you saw how to run it then. Okay. I just want to see what it looks like. That looks pretty good. We could probably put some lines here, but you get to my point there. Now it's got the withdrawal and it's got the deposit there. I was going to bring this back maybe a little bit. Now we could set commands in here to make it read something. And we could put in an input statement here. It says, so what we're going to make it say, do you want to do a withdrawal or do you want to do a deposit? So I'll say, trying to think here for a second. What can I help you with? In this result, we'll just call it HP for helps or something like that. We're going to leave it as a string because we want to interact with it directly. Let's save some room here in case I need room. And we're going to say if HP is equal to withdrawal, then we could make it, do a whole withdrawal somewhere. I don't know how many lines we have left there, but we could set up a whole statement for withdrawal. Or if it's deposit, and we were actually doing withdrawals from the beginning because we were basically accumulating. But let's say we wanted to actually draw from our bank account, we could actually make it withdraw money that's already in your balance. Basically, it would deduct from your balance. So essentially, if you wanted to withdraw here, it would have to also say, here it says, what can I help you with? You'd have to have another input statement. So what can I help you with? I want to do a withdrawal. And then next it would have to say, how much do you want to withdraw, right? And then 980, like deposit, right? And we would set like a line somewhere way down there somewhere for the deposit. And then also with the deposit, what did you want to deposit? And I won't go into all that right now because we're probably getting really long here. But the deposit would basically be keeping track of our random lottery. So after we started making money, accumulating money, losing money or whatever, we could start making deposits and stuff like that. And with our withdrawal, we could just withdraw from the account. We could probably get withdrawal working now because essentially we already got a balance. So that probably won't be too difficult to do. It's just the deposit screens could probably require a whole different thought process here. I'm probably too tired to think about right now. Let's see here. Okay, so 2000 is not being used, so I'm okay to put that for my withdrawal. and then what we called it, HPs, right? So we know now we're going to 2000, and then we were using an input statement maybe. How much did you want? How much did you want to withdraw, right? And we could just say WI for withdrawals or whatever. And then from here, well, in this case, we're not going to need to convert. It's going to set it WI for a number. So we can put it as a number. We don't need to convert it or anything. And then we would basically take our deposit amount because we know we got a balance in there. And we're going to subtract that from our deposit. Later, we would get into something called checking to see if we have a zero balance, which is less than or equal to zero. If we do, and we'll say you don't have enough if you're trying to withdraw money, you don't have it, then just say you don't have that enough money in your account to withdraw all that. We do something like that. But for now, we could just set it as a simple withdrawal, and it would actually interact with this program perfectly. So after we did something like this, we could probably make it update the checking account. And also, we would need an escape screen to go back to our store so we could kind of interact back and forth. Now he's off his cell phone, right? And now he's talking to the clerk again and making more transactions. So you can kind of interact with it that way. And then, of course, you would always set a return once you're done to kind of end that segment. So there's our crazy little program. I was just showing it to you. So now if we go back to our 800 here, we could get an exit screen here. So E, we could also say E for exit. So I think I'll probably do that. If we could fit it all on here. It's all going to fit on the same line or not. So exit basically will take us back to the store. Otherwise, we'll be stuck in this little routine until we keep going back and forth. So actually 999 would be saying go to like 820 or whatever. That's good. Let me see. Yeah, 820 is past the clearing of this. Well, we could still clear the screen and do it again, I guess. Okay. 810's good. All right, just 800. So now it's kind of trapped in that line there, and it just kind of keeps printing the checking account balance over and over again until you exit that screen. So we've done that correctly. That should work there. And then, of course, E will take us out of the program. If we go to E, then we could go back to line 60 to kind of, actually, maybe now you need to go to line 60. Let's see. Yeah, 60 kind of just goes right back into that loop again. Of course, we'd have to clear it again without losing our data here. And we actually don't even need line 44 except for the dollar amount there because we're already using the 2000, the humans, and the bugs, and just setting those as regular static variables. So we probably, I don't know if I could get away with doing that or not. I should have just set 45 for clear, but we could just do this for now. A little bit extra coding, but sometimes people do that. We'll just say clear the screen. And then we're going to go to a different line. So 985 to make sure here. I guess 50 would be good. We're going to do 50, I guess. I think that'd be okay. I think that would still accumulate and still keep our program intact. Save it again. Verify, save. Now let's see what we got going on here. See if we can interact and go back and forth with our store now. If we can, I'm probably going to call this for the night because I'm getting tired. Yep, I got an error. What did I do wrong? Probably because I forgot the semicolon. I always forget that on the Atari originally. I was never used to using it, so half the time I would just forget it. Okay. Now that we've got the withdrawal, the deposit, and exit, we could go and do our withdrawal. Let's say we want to do a withdrawal. Now, before we do that, let me write down the number here so I know we're doing some accurate results here. Okay, I got the number written down there. And we're going to say withdrawal. And it's going to ask us another question. Nope, it's going to give us an error. What happened here? Oh, I did the same thing again. Double checking that one. Okay, we'll do it again. Practice makes perfect, right? Okay, make our account. There's our balance. We're going to withdraw, and I got to write down the number again. Just write down a number to make sure it's keeping track of accurate results, because we still really haven't done our calculations to figure out if this stuff is working. That would probably take a whole session. I could probably check it later just to make sure all these results are equaling the correct number down here. If somebody wants to throw it at me, I'm totally fine with that too, but I'm really tired right now. So withdrawal is what I'm going to say. What can I help you with? Withdrawal? How much did you want? How much do I want to withdraw? I don't know. I've got plenty of money here. So let's say I want to take a big chunk of change. Let's say I want to take $450 million. I'm going to really suck this bank account dry. I'm going to get in trouble by the aliens are us, or the alien. No, the aliens are us. I'm going to get in trouble by the. Gosh, am I so tired? Well, essentially, I'm going to get in trouble by the alien IRS. You know what I mean? So they're going to come after me for tax reasons because I'm taking out a lot of money out of my account at one time. And the banks are going to get suspicious. Why are you taking out so much money? You know? But this is an interactive program, so let me just double check this number. Okay, looks like it's right. And it didn't work. It's got the exact same number in there. So it didn't update my balance. Let's go find out why. Why is it stuck there? I made it update that, but I didn't update my totals. That's what I forgot to do. It's just my sum total. Which was, what, TT again? I think we're safe to use TT again. We're always keeping track of TT each time. Sum TT is equal to our DO, which is our remaining amount. So if that's all right, we should be good. Go through it again. Okay, let's go and check it again. And let's go withdraw. One more. So our numbers should drop down to $4 million if I've done this right. Well, actually, no, that wouldn't be $4 million. That'd be like $1 million or something. And it did not. It went down somewhat though, but why is it not? What have I missed here that my tire brain is not thinking about right now? There's our sum. Oh, I know why. I'm trying to accumulate. Well, let's see, I'm subtracting DO from the amount, which is WI, right? WI is that large number. But I'm taking the WI and I'm subtracting it from our DO. What's our DO? Ooh. Our DO is a really weird number now for some weird reason. Because I don't think it was DO I needed to subtract from. I was accumulating from the account earlier, not from DO. That was my mistake. So 2020 should actually be accumulating it from my actual account, not from my DO, because we're updating that account each time, right? So really, account total, what could I say? See, ASCII, WI keeps track of how much we're subtracting. We need to minus this from my ACT. Just thinking out loud here for a minute. Sum total equals sum total. I did plus also. Okay, I want to do plus. So sum, I'm subtracting from my sum. So SU equals SU minus ACTT is what I need to do. So really, I need to pass the result into here and then subtract it from there. So SU equals SU plus AC, and then I need to take WI and transfer that and subtract it from my AC. So just thinking about this for a minute. So WI, so AC, so SU equals SU minus, because we're now subtracting from our account balance there. That's going to be minus the total that's in my bank account. And then we would have to minus that from our WI if that's going to work. I think we would be good. All right, let's do it again. And let's try to round this one out with a kickoff field goal here because I am so tired. And I'm freezing. I turned on my air when I got in here. Now I'm like freezing in here. Good to know my air's working again because it wasn't working before. Let's see here. My totals. Withdrawal. This time we'll just do maybe 2,000 off the top. Nope. Just too tired to think about what it is. There's our total right there. So we want to subtract from this total. SU equals total, and then WI, right? So here's how I could test it, actually. WI is that a bigger number than that one? So if I take 68,15960 minus 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's what I'm trying to get right there. That's all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take the SU TT equals SU TT minus WI. Wonder why that didn't work. I also didn't accumulate my TT also. Forgot to do that. I don't know if that was the reason or not. All right. Probably the order of operations. If it's order of operations doing me in or something here. That would take those totals and subtract it from those totals right there. But technically, the order of operations is going to be following the same thing anyway. It's going to follow the parentheses, and there's no parentheses and all those rules. So I don't think there's a really big result of that. WI is a number. I think it's got the result somewhere. It's just not printing it out correctly. It's got accumulated somewhere because right there it's adding it back into SU. And that's what I'm doing up here is I'm adding it into SU there. I don't know where that came from. All right. All right. Let's see if I got any suggestions here to try to keep up because you guys are waking up, but my night's ending. So I'm tired now. I wanted to check lines 800 on. What am I doing? 800 on here. Right there. Right there. So see, I'm using SUTT right there. That's the sum total. -1. I wonder if I need that -1 in there. I would be surprised if I did. -1. What do you guys think? You think that might work? This guy's tired. Okay, here we go. Redubigal. Oops. I think I had too big of a number earlier too. So let's make sure it's not too big of a number. And now I got nothing showing up. Like I wiped out my count or something. Here, we can look at the numbers here and see what they look like. Right there. And there it is on the end. I'm not printing it right, but there it is. See it? Right there. So I got something going on. This is not printing it right somewhere. Not getting it cast back to the screen correctly here somewhere. I'm just too tired to think about what's going on. But it's giving the right results. Maybe I just don't need to accumulate the TT. Because I'm not essentially adding anything else to it. All I'm doing is I'm trying to keep track of where that total is. So I probably don't need to accumulate the TT. That's my guess. All right, got a couple totals going on there. Joe, please work. Just counting them, make sure I'm not overdoing them. And I don't know if that was right or not. I should have wrote down a number first because I only took 1,500 off of it. What was DO before? I think it might be right this time. I probably missed it because I'm tired. Let's see. Okay. Make a note of the number again. And this time I'm just going to take off like a bigger number here. Counting the spaces. So it should drop to like 3 million. It's not. Didn't even drop here either, did it? Right now I'm not able to think of what's going on. I'm just too tired. Yeeks. May have to discontinue this session because right now C64 brain is brain tired. And he's not able to figure out what's going on. It's possible I may not even need that TT minus 1 there. But I was thinking that I would always keep track of where I was last, and that was the last total I had was TT minus 1 every time I'm printing from that line. And I'm accumulating off the SU just like I did with this one. It's up here. I'm adding to it because we're accumulating. Wait a minute. Why am I accumulating and not subtracting this? I'm subtracting the DO. Oh, because I was adding on the DO. Okay, I was adding on the ACTT. Subtracting the 2000, keep track of the DO. And it was just adding what was in ACTT. Yep. Okay. So SO equals SO minus the total. Here's how tired I am again. Let's keep track of 920, right? Look at 920. What's the difference between 920 and 2020? Who can tell me right now? What's the difference between those? Let's see somebody says. I'm not using the array again. I was using the variable again. So the answer is to use the array. Because we're accumulating from, we're subtracting from TT, right? So 2020 is the one we need. Yep, we're subtracting from 20 there. Let's see what threw me off here is I thought I was using this, but really we're using this one. So really, the answer is real simple. Maybe not simple. It's going to look a little complex, but really it's just reading the track where the array was and just subtracting from the account. This is going to look a little complex, guys. Sorry. But programming is what it is, right? And everybody like, this is a basic playground? Yeah, it is. So there we go. So what it's doing is it's taking the sum total as we had accumulated from here, taking the sum total. So basically sum total equals sum totals minus the account and subtracting it from that value that we're drawn from. So that should work. That'll work. That's got to be it. He put it there. Yep, exactly, Stein. I was too tired to see that, though. Somehow I caught it. Thank you. Easy mistake to make when you're programming, by the way. And you could spend hours on it saying, what is going on? And here you could be using one different array over, a variable. I've done it so many times in my life and it drives you crazy. Why isn't that positioning right? Why aren't those numbers correct? Very simple. So let's do the 45000 again. And for some reason, it looks like it worked. It went way down because I did 45. Yeah, I did 45 minus the number. So it's working. we're done. With this program, but I think we went over pretty far. Whew. Yeah, a lot of work, huh? But so the next session, what I'd like to continue on is continue adding to this program. Now that we got our account, we got our withdrawal working correctly, we could set up our deposit so we could start depositing into our account. And then we could probably start moving it forward and just kind of take it from there and kind of learn newer commands as we go along. So thank you for bearing with me on this long journey, but I got to really cut it out because I'm tired. I really appreciate your subscriptions, everything you can do to help me grow this channel. And we are still alive. If you want to join me at Twitch tomorrow, I should be on Twitch if all goes well. I know some of you are probably not interested, but I'll be doing some gaming videos there and try to make that a consistent thing, hopefully over time. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm just going to switch out to camera here. I say goodbyes, my goodbyes, my goodbyes. Yeah, quite a journey, huh? So we learned a lot in this session, right? We started covering a lot of different material here, which I just kind of wrote down here. I wanted to go into more explanation on the other stuff, but eventually we ran out of time. But we did cover most of the stuff in here, and I gave some examples on others. We covered the ASCII, which all those weird characters you were seeing, I was putting on the screen. Those were called the pet ASCII characters. Now, ASCII is the old name for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. That is what's used to create those characters you see on the screen, which are basically just being pulled from token arrays inside of memory pockets, basically. And then we also covered the conditions. That was when we were setting 1, 2, or 3 to pick a number. We didn't really go into complex conditions. I'd like to go into more complex conditions later, you know, like whether they're like greater than or less than. How much money do we have on the left in our account? If we're depositing money to our account, do we have a zero balance? And we need to keep kind of track of those totals. And that's the kind of stuff you can do with those kind of conditions, those operators. And then we went over mids and lefts, even though I didn't really use them in our program. I just wanted to demonstrate that, you know, those are going to be used to pull and extract information out of, you know, basically the strings. You could pull data out. I was originally going to set dates inside of our checking account and just extract the numbers apart to kind of put, you know, the little slashes in between it to look like an actual date and stuff like that. And I was going to extract each section, you know, extract the date, the month, the date, and the year kind of thing. And then, of course, you got left, which basically grabs the left side of the string data, and then you can set it to the number you're going to grab, and you got the rights doing the same thing on the opposite end. And then, of course, we covered GOSUB, which is just jump into the subroutines and kind of all that stuff. So I think that's everything. I don't think I've gone out of stretch with anything here. If this was very complicated, as always, I'm going to work on getting it back to the website and break it down for you as much as I can. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, you know, working out the technical issues as always. Things are going to happen. What can you do? But that's life. Life goes on. But I'm going to keep pumping these out as I can. Like I said, I probably won't be doing this next week or maybe even the next week after because I've got a pretty stacked schedule here. So I'm still trying to do other things in my life as well and try to get the Twitch going on. And there's just other things going on. And continue right now, even probably really soon, you know, doing some house hunting here. So looking probably getting a condo. But anyways, thanks guys so much. It was nice meeting you all that you took out time to join us. I appreciate everybody who stopped in today. I just go down the names here to give you credit. Stein, Brett Hammer, thank you so much for your great input. It was appreciated. Singer, thanks so much for sticking with the audio issues. I'm glad we were able to work through that. Kilo San, I'm glad you worked through audio issues and you were here. I hope everybody had a great time. And what eventually I'm going to try to do later is create a video showing you guys how, once I get this working, you know, very perfectly, how you can join us and we could all start sharing screens. Like I said, I like to have those kind of screens going across there where I can kind of see what you guys are all up to. So there kind of be the screens going across here. You know, or on the bottom or whatever, so I can see what's going on with everybody. So yeah, we're going to call this one a night. Thanks so much.